You can call
Shabbat Shalom, that's a hint. No honey. Good job. Shabbat Shalom as we begin with Hine Mato. Good Shabbos, but she should have good Shabbos. Come on. Good Shabbos. We could have some wonderful women come and light the candles followed by Shabbat Lechem. Welcome to the evening.
Oh, you're like everybody, all the ladies.
Are you not a wonderful woman?
Are
you not a wonderful woman? Excuse me, are you not a wonderful woman? Okay, these wonderful women over on this side don't want to do it. Okay. They want to relax.
I have no idea. I went later.
I have to go see it. It's job for Amen, as we welcome in the angels of peace. wish each other good Shabbos. And I'm looking at how many kids there are. So the parents are just going to go to the kids for our children's blessing.
Good job.
Come on, guys. Good Shabbos.
Good job.
For the girls, Yisimek Elohim Kasadav Karachel Valeah. For the boys, Simcha Elohim Kefram and Menashe. May God bless you to be like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. May God bless two of you to be like Ephraim and Menashe. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God always bless you and always protect you. May God lift up his countenance, being kind and gracious and compassionate with you in every place, space, and time. Shalom. May God bless you with good health, good mental health, good physical health, good emotional health, good spiritual health, with wisdom, with courage, with parnasa, with prosperity, with fun, with joy, with brotherhood, with sisterhood, with kindness, with compassion, with strength, with courage, with self-awareness, with patience, with fun, with love, and always with peace.
You made me.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, we should be so lucky.
Yep.
Should be so blessed.
All of them.
We continue our service on page 19 to feel God's nearness. We go through the week and we put all these veils between us and God. Shabbat's a time to be aware how close God always is. That's not just transcendent. God is immanent and always with us. And so we read at the top of the page, eternal God, whose temple is the whole world, whose dwelling place is the human heart. We know that you are everywhere, and that your presence never leaves us.
Yet we are thankful for appointed times and chosen places where we come together to turn to you in prayer.
Help us to feel your nearness, O God, at this hour and in this place.
The week of toil has ended, the day of rest has come, and we pause to reflect on the meaning of our lives.
Source of all creation, you have given us the blessing of works that by our efforts we may fashion things of use and moments of helpfulness.
You have also given us the Shabbat for rest, renewal, and sanctification.
May the work of our hands and minds be acceptable to you, O Lord, drawing us ever closer to you in truth and in love. Together we say, Amen. On page 38, we have this wonderful melody. This is a wedding chant. It's not really wedding season right now. This is kind of the off season for weddings. But it is such a beautiful, important thing to realize how much God always loves us. How many of you saw a video in the last month or so of an IDF soldier who got married with his unit? They brought the bride in and we celebrate that kind of thing. We celebrate that kind of thing. Wedding anywhere and everywhere. We need to remember why we do what we do. We need to remember God's love in that process. Continue with Lachado D. We find the words on the screen as well as on our page with our prayer books. Lord, with some more protect and remember.
Peace be on you, and upon you, God. Adonai Echad, Yeshua Echad, Yeshua Tiferet, Levi Gilad.
Sabbath rise to my home, she travels the loop. About 10, 11 hours ago, she was in Jerusalem. She travels the world to welcome Jews back. Let us all know how much God loves us. To bless us with the day. Peace, that she should come in peace. Go in peace, bless us with peace. True peace.
Holy Shalom.
We sing Canon Paul's worship. Please be seated. As we turn to page 50 and 51. Madre Varovim. Everything is about separation. The first thing God does when He creates the universe is He separates between the light and the darkness. We separate between the holiness of Jews and the holiness of other peoples. This week we have separated again between a temporary truce and a war. And it's important to understand separation and how important it is for existence and to make life right. So we read together, we're going to responsibly in the middle of the page. Page 51, praise to you, O Lord our God, who live universe, whose work brings on the dusk of you.
Your wisdom creates dawn, your understanding regulates time and seasons.
The stars above follow their appointed rounds in response to your divine will.
You create day and night, you alternate darkness and light.
You remove the day, you bring on the night, you separate one from the other.
Lord, you Lord of heavenly hosts, you are living God.
May you rule over us as you rule over nature. Praised are you, O Lord, who brings on the evening dusk. We turn to page 52. Before we can say the Shema on page 54, we need to recognize God's great love. So for a moment, focus on how God has shown His love to you today, this past week. Concept. Think about that for a moment. It's only once we realize God's great love for us that we are able to realize how much we need to love God. So for a moment, think of that. What a week we saw this week. We saw a number of hostages, thank God, returned. And we can see that there's still 130 plus who are still held. We saw some children redeemed, and we saw them separated from their parents who were left there as hostages. We saw a moment of ceasefire that was broken broken, and we saw in the last 24 hours tremendous amounts of rockets being fired. And in our own nation, in our own areas, we saw joy and pain everywhere. And see, we're Jews, so we accept that that's part of the deal. There's darkness and there's light, and without the darkness, you don't have light, by the way. And someone said that they interpreted the Torah to say that we are to be the gardeners of the world. Isn't that a great term? We are to be the gardeners of the world. They interpreted, they translated Genesis where it says that. And we are here to kind of get rid of the weeds, make the flowers bloom. And it needs night, and it needs day, and it needs darkness, and it needs light. Because we know that the light always conquers. Just because a flower is not yet a flower does not mean it will not be. Just because the land lies fallow for a year, every 7, that's just to make it healthier. And we know we have a Emunah Shlema, truly perfect faith as Jews, that all of what we experience is to bring a greater light to the world. Which is good because this week we've got a Hanukkah, holiday, festival of lights. It's a great time in the middle of this darkness to remember that everything will come back and that we will have, in fact, not only light, but God will protect us with a Sukkah Shonachah. That God will see the day in our time when nations shall no longer lift up the word against nation. Will no longer learn. This may be the most important prayer we say. It's going to happen one way or the other, but this is to remind us that it's not about darkness. It's about faith in the light. And we see a dark path and we light it up. That is both difficult, but you know what else? It's also pretty happy, isn't it? So we need to embrace some of that joy as we remind ourselves that God will always There's a pathway of darkness, but always on these pathways there's candles, there's torches. They just need to be lit, and that's what we're here for. Light it up and bring peace to the world. How many of you have been to Israel and been in the tunnel, Hezekiah's tunnel? Hezekiah's tunnel. The tunnel we talked about at High Holidays, where the stream is still running, it's pitch black, and you come through it on the other side into light. It's truly a covering of God's face. We continue, as Hashem, we will all go there together sometimes. We continue on page 66, the Hatzi Hadish. Amen. Let's rise. The idea of prayer is to not pray. The idea of prayer is to be prayed, to be open and empty, and to receive from God so we can give it back. Our mouths, our lips may pause to praise God. Please continue traditional prayers for you said before, your own private prayers when you're done with your private devotions. Please be seated. Everybody inside your prayers. God's great peace. Racha on his people, Israel. In every moment, in every hour, God grants his people Israel, the nation of Israel, wholeness.
Shalom Yisrael Hasim Leolam. Shalom Yisrael Hasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech gadol Lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech gadol Lechol hashalom. Shalom Yisrael Hasim Leolam. Shalom Yisrael Hasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levadet et lamecha Yisrael. B'chol leil ובכל שעה לשמונך. Shalom Yisrael Hasim Leolam. Shalom Yisrael
They always sound great. Don't they? That sounds for some reason especially great tonight. You guys sound exceptionally exceptional.
Benny's playing exceptionally. He is.
It must be the hats. Did how many even notice that they pulled in Simon and Garfunkel before the Shema?
Yes.
A little Latin thing going. So I love this Torah portion. So at least I'm consistent, right? But this is a really interesting Torah portion, and there's a part that we like to study. We study a lot. We're going to talk about that at some point. But there's also a part that we just generally don't talk about. And I thought I'd like to talk about for a moment. I may not even have to give any commentary on the story. No, he's going to be quiet. No, and Stan's giving me a look. So I turned off the air conditioning, okay?
Thank you.
I saw that roughly we're cold, and I'm schwitzing.
We're very cold.
Well, my answer is, let's get you guys a little more passionate, Stan. So then we work on, okay, so, yeah, Jeff's fine, see? He's fine, Abby's smiling, Stan. So, okay.
Jeff's 36 years old.
We turned off the light. So there's a part of this Torah portion that generally is not talked about. I want to preface this. I say often that we're taught that you can understand the events of the world by looking at the week's Torah portion. This was a week where, it's been a number of weeks since October 7th. We all know what Hamas did. We all know what's gone on. I think that there was this exchange of hostages, 3-to-1 for criminals, felons, Israeli prisons, that also apart a couple of different days, and they were kept committing they were going to bring certain hostages back, and then they eventually did not, and so as of yesterday, they started back at war, at a hot war, post-war. And, the world is complaining, as they always do, about the Jews, and is this right, and forgetting what actually happened and the horrors that happened on October 7th. So that's kind of all in our consciousness. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
So let me tell you what happens in this Torah portion, and I'm going to see if I don't even have to make a commentary, because again, we can look at the events of the world through Torah. So, Jacob, how many of you guys remember Jacob? We're going to talk about how the beginning of the Torah portion later, but towards the middle of the end of the Torah portion, Jacob, he has his sons, but he also has a daughter. Okay, Dinah. Okay, you guys remember Dinah? She's not talked a lot about, except particularly this week's Torah portion. And in this week's Torah portion, they are in Canaan, and the Hittites, a prince of the Hittites named Shechem, he's the prince. He likes the way that Dinah looks, and he rapes her. Okay? And he rapes her. You didn't know this, did you? See? Well, then I'm going to let you interpret it, okay? Because when we look at the world events through, he rapes the young woman, Dinah. And this causes problems, as you can imagine. And Jacob is very concerned, because Jacob's worried about if they go to war with the Hittites, all the other tribes around them will attack the Hebrews, and they're outnumbered and outgunned and everything else. So he's a little concerned, but Shechem is feeling very, like he's got to make everyone look a little bit better. So he goes to Jacob, and specifically his sons, and he says, what can I do? I want to marry her as well. I'm going to make it all better. I'm going to marry her. Then you guys can become Hittites like us. Well, I'm going to, intermarry. And so it's Simeon and Levi's, these two wonderful sons, they have an idea. They say, well, no man can be even related to us unless they're circumcised, and everyone in his household. So You have to get circumcised along with every one of your men. And Shechem says, okay. And so all the soldiers, they all get circumcised as well. All of Shechem's army, they all get circumcised as adults. I don't think it says, actually. But obviously enough to scare the Hebrews, so there's a fair number of them. And they, which tells us, though they hadn't raped Dinah, but were they okay with Shechem having raped Dinah? They were, because if they weren't okay, they wouldn't have gotten circumcised, they would have left town. Right? That's, for those of you who aren't aware, that's not something a man looks forward to as an adult. So, and for those of you who are not sure, your parents will explain it to you later. I do too. So, in fact, remind me after the service, I will tell you a very funny joke that happened with one of them. But it's not something I would ever say with the microphone around. So they obviously were okay with it. I mean, they were behind Shechem, they were supportive of Shechem, and so they all get circumcised. And immediately after they get circumcised, they're trying to recover. Simeon and Levi go and slaughter every one of them. Slaughters every one of the Hittites. 2 men with their swords go and slaughter all of them. Jacob's a little concerned about this because what's going to happen, and here's where it gets really interesting. And it's all kind of interesting. And immediately after that happens, you know what God does? He doesn't punish Simeon and Levi. In fact, he says to Jacob, he recommits his promise that the land of Israel will always be for Jacob and his descendants. He rewards Jacob and the Hebrews for the passion and commitment of Simeon and Levi. So I'm just going to ask the question, do I need to make any commentary on how it is applicable in today's world?
No.
Not necessarily.
Okay. I just thought I'd share the story. It's pretty dark, and there's no joy in it. I mean, there really is no joy in it. We can make jokes about it, but there's no joy in it. But here's the other piece that happens. Besides that God recommits himself as a partner with Jacob and our people, Dinah gets pregnant. Shechem's people are kept on because they are kept on as the children of Dinah and their descendants, and because the rape led to a child. That child ends up getting land like all of the other tribes in Israel, is integrated and becomes a vital and meaningful part of the Jewish people. Whereas before it was an enemy. After this horrible thing that Simeon and Levi do, it cleanses out the rapist, Shechem, and instead it integrates the people and his descendants into one people with the people of Israel. And maybe there's a lesson there for all of us in today's world, and I probably don't need to talk about it anymore, other than I probably should figure out, because I'm thinking in my head and I'm not sure of the spelling. It might be the same gematria of Hamas and Shechem. I have to actually check. I'm not sure. But the point is, I think that the analogy is pretty clear, isn't it, to everyone? Interesting teaching. And how many of you that knew that you didn't know about that whole rape? Isn't that interesting? And they knew that all of the guys who circumcised themselves supported Shechem. Whether they had actively done the rape or not, they were part of it because they were guilty of supporting it after the fact. And again, if they hadn't, they would have just left. It wasn't, like they had to stay there. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know any of you guys, but I would. So I think it's a powerful story of teaching, especially this week with the truce being broken, what's going on in all the wars. The other part of the Torah portion, however, that we do talk about a lot is we think of Joseph as being the great dream interpreter, but Jacob also really has these powerful dreams. He had a dream where he saw angels ascending and descending, and this portion begins with him having a dream. He's about to go meet Esau, his brother. In Hebrew, it's Esau, not Esau, but he's supposed to meet Esau, and he splits up his camp because he doesn't want his brother, who he thinks is very angry with him, to kill everybody in his family. And he goes, and that night he has a dream. And in this dream, which maybe it wasn't a dream, maybe it was real, he gets in a fight. He wrestles with an angel or God or another man or his subconscious or his superconscious or his unconscious. Depends on whether you're a Jungian or a mystic, but there's all sorts of possibilities. And he does a wrestle. And you know, the name Yaakov means heel, like scoundrel, like the heel of your foot. And that's not always the best name. And so it's dawn, and the angel says, I have to leave. Oh, and by the way, during this time, the angel wrenches Jacob's hip, goes out of place. And so that's why we don't eat any kosher meat. It's from the hip, it's from the sciatica. So he's wounded, he's physically wounded as well. And that's a place to open up his spirit, for his spirit to enter. And the angel says, I've got to leave, it's dawn. And Jacob's got him by in a good hold. And he says, you can't leave without giving me a new name. And he gives him the name Israel, which means he who wrestles with God, he who wrestles and triumphs over God. That's it, one who wrestles. We misinterpret that all too often. Wrestling can mean fighting, but wrestling is the most intimate of physical contact sports. If we saw two men wrestling outside that window and we couldn't hear what was going on, we didn't know they were wrestlers, we might think they were doing something else. It's very, very intimate, isn't it? It's very private. And the idea is that we are in conflict often with God, but always in an intimate way. We need to be that intimate. But here's what happens. He wakes up in the morning, or he gets up in the morning, and he goes to see Esau. And Esau says, no problem. I got no problem with you. And they end up being friends, and they can be, and they split ways. So Midrash says, why did Esau do this? Because see, that night, Midrash teaches, Esau had a dream where his angel came to him. And his angel spoke on behalf of Jacob's angel to speak to Esau and say, look, you don't really want to do anything with your brother, life is good, etc. And so what's so important about this is to understand that we can communicate through dreams. That we can literally communicate through dreams. And that's taught in every culture, including Judaism and Jewish mysticism. It is taught about how, not only that we can, but how to be awake in our dreams, how to have lucid dreaming. There are techniques in our tradition, there are techniques in other traditions, and we do class on that periodically. We've done a Talmud's back on that, I think. And I think we've done those. We do them periodically. And that there are techniques to remember your dreams. And it's a process to get better and better at it, but to become lucid in your dreams, and to be able to communicate with others through a dream state, the way that Jacob's angel communicated for him to Esau's angel. Dreams are really important and powerful. They can be messages, they can be opportunities for growth. You remember the movie Diner? Well, long ago, right? Mickey Rourke has a great line. You don't have dreams, you got nightmares. Remember that about? But the idea of dreaming and remembering, and to use our dreams to heal ourselves and to heal others. How many times have you talked about someone and talked with them or thought about them and suddenly they call you? Throughout our lives, right? Something's happening in the non-physical world. Something's happening. And so we need to dream with each other. It says it right there. In Jutsuin Zoagada. If you will it, it is not a dream. And the line continues. Does anyone know what the rest of the line is? And if you don't, a dream it is, and a dream it will remain. Prayer and action. Dreams and action. To dream of God, to dream of each other, to share our dreams. You want to remember your dream? Tell it to somebody in the morning. Write it down. Take a glass of water before you go to sleep. That'll help you. There's hand knots, ways of holding your hands, which are different places, different ways of holding your hands when you go to sleep to help remember. There's all sorts of ways, but the point is that no matter whether the dream is asleep or awake, we need to act on our dreams. God did not put a dream in any one of us that cannot be actualized. You want to be a golfer, Stan? That dream's there for you. That's really what you want. But you gotta act. You gotta will it. You gotta act. And you want to be a tennis player? Yeah. That dream is there for you. Okay? You just gotta act on it. We do not have a dream in our heart. It's not there for a purpose. We do not have a dream in our soul. It is not there for a purpose. And so we need to remember the teaching of Dina, but we also need to remember that we all have angels. And that those dreams are real. And my prayer for all of us is that we allow ourselves to dream, to receive dreams from God and from others, to understand and know our angels, to get to know them better, and hear them, feel them, see them in the dreams. As they dream of us, we dream of them, and together we create a tapestry of dreams and eventually actions in this world.
Impossible. Would you remember the quest? Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Sing nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me. While I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on here. Still waiting for you. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just singing this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams to leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Oh, stars fading, but I linger on, dear. Still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear. Just singing this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams to leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Dream a little dream of
Let's sing. Let's pray next.
Shabbat shalom. So, did you see that movie? There's a movie, Dream a Little Dream, with two Corys when they're young. Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
no.
It's a very 80s thing. I'm not even sure you were alive.
It was 80s, I was.
So announcements, we got a lot of announcements. Let's start with December 10th. December 10th is the Latke launch. We have amazing prizes, and they're getting more and more. We have a set of crystal Jewish wine glasses. Can I describe them? There's 12 of them. We have art, some of which is worth thousands of dollars, actually. At least a couple thousand. We have vacations and stays. And so we have those kind of things. That's in the morning.
Whoa.
10 a.m.
Okay, 10 a.m. And then at 6 o'clock at night, and this is important.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So, at 6 o'clock at night, we're going to have our annual Hanukkah party at Stonehouse. Now, let me explain to you why this is so important. In some ways, even more important than the fundraiser. Boy, it hurts me to say that, but it's true. You guys know that John Nodder owns the Westlake Village, and the Westlake Village are always very kind to us. They give us space. They don't charge us. They're very kind. John personally donates to the temple. He's not even Jewish. And they give us all the space for Hanukkah. We put up our big 14-foot menorah, Hanukkah, all that stuff, right? This year, I've been doing a lot of wrestling internally because I'm really concerned about the world. And I love John and Chris and Melissa so much. And, we don't want to put in any way, shape, or form people we care about in harm's way, potentially. I don't know what their security is, and there's a big menorah up there 24 hours a day for 9 days, because it doesn't just magically appear the first day or get taken down. So I called John last week. I said, we get together. We had this fun. We got together yesterday. Orlando, was that right? And he knew what I wanted to talk with him about. And he brought Chris, who runs the company, Melissa, who manages Stonehouse. And I said, I want to express concerns, but I don't want you to feel pressured. I'm very concerned. And they said, we've already talked about it. I knew what you wanted to talk to us about. And every one of us was on the same place. We will not be intimidated. We got your back, and we will always have your back. I said, but John, you're not aware of the anti-Semitism, because I talked with him about it over the last 2 months. And he said, it doesn't matter. I'm more aware of it now. And all the more reason we got your back. Okay. And we need to reward that. We need to pack that place with hundreds and hundreds of people. There will be armed security. There also will be the sheriffs. So don't worry about that in terms of safety for the evening. Sunday, we're going to do our Hanukkah lighting. We'll do some Hanukkah songs. We're going to make Hanukkah a very special Hanukkah with Benny this year, who's bringing, at request,
I'll bring it.
because I actually asked him, Benny's bringing the tuba for a Hanukkah song. Now, what Hanukkah song are you going to do on tuba?
Of course, Rock of Ages.
I actually found a tuba recording of someone playing tuba from Hanukkah.
Yeah.
It sounded kind of like my voice. So it's really, I can't say how important it is. They are literally putting their well-being and the finances of their hotel and resort at risk all week to support us. And we need to support them on that one night. So get every friend you have. We'll be buying pizzas and fries. People that own drinks, we'll have pizza and fries for people. And we need, does that make sense why it's so important? I think
Absolutely.
we got to really step up for him. I felt like crying. I was so blown away that they'd already talked about it and that they were all on this page. It was not a dialogue for them. It just wasn't even a dialogue.
It'd be nice if we could send them congregational letter of thanks.
I think afterwards it'd be nice to do that, yeah. Although also knowing Chris, I think more than a congregational letter of thanks would be 300 people buying drinks. I think they'll like that.
40 bottles of wine.
Lots of it. So I really want to encourage everyone to come. It's going to be early enough. It's not going to be cold. There are heat lamps. It's not going to be as cold as it is in here. We did turn off the air a while.
Good idea.
And so I really want to encourage everyone. It's really important, I think, because for someone to step up like that is just, and he's not Jewish. As I say, he donates every year to the synagogue because he appreciates what we do for the community. So I really want to encourage everyone to please come, bring friends, invite everybody you know. There probably are going to be a lot of public Hanukkah celebrations this year that are in public spaces, and we will be there. And we will be there with lots of protection in a lot of good ways, so I'm not concerned, as well as the Stonehouse people. So it should be a special evening. So I would say you get there early so you can get some pizzas, stuff like that. Parking could be a zoo there, that's true. So that's next Sunday the 10th. On Wednesday night, we have Talmud and Tobacco. The topic this month is the hidden secrets of Hanukkah, of war, of peace. But Hanukkah is a really special holiday. It's actually one of the more important holidays in Judaism. It's not about gift giving. It's not about gift giving. This one's avoided. It's not about gift giving. It's not about a Hanukkah bush. It's not about any of those things, but it is beautiful and joyous, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. We're going to learn that on Wednesday night at Talmud and Tobacco. Again, at Stonehouse. We do this all the time at Stonehouse. They don't charge us for stuff. They're always so magnanimous and wonderful. Next Friday, we weren't going to have services, but we are. Kind of. Okay. No. Instead of doing Saturday morning where I don't know that people are going to come, and it's a big study session, which is wonderful. I think next Friday we're going to have a brief Shabbat service that we circled around. I hear a lot of people. You guys, we were talking about. So I hear a lot of people, and every year, you know what I hear? My wife makes the best latkes. No, my wife makes the best latkes. No, I make the latkes. No, latkes are supposed to be thick like hockey pucks. No, they're supposed to be thin. So no. Have you heard that?
No.
You don't listen. So, and then there's the husbands who say, your wife makes better latkes. So we're going to have, for next week, and you get to bring your own, what's the right, not accessories, condiments. So we'll have Shabbat and an apple, not apple, and a latke tasting contest.
Oh, nice.
And there will be a significant prize for said winner of latke contest. Well, the judges are going to have to be those who do not have family members involved, preferably men who wear cufflinks. We need at least 2 judges who wear cufflinks, at least 1 judge who can play a really good guitar. So we need it's also, we should probably have a judge who speaks Spanish fluently with Castilian accent. We'll figure out the judges. We're taking volunteers for judging.
No idea.
Well, Jeff, you're making it, right? So there will be a latke tasting contest. That came out wrong. I mean, the tasters are actually the ones going to judge. There will be a latke eating, tasting contest as part of our Hanukkah Friday's night celebration. We'll light Hanukkah lights. Please bring your menorahs as well. We will light them together before we light Shabbat candles, and on Friday night, right here. And invite friends, and invite, if you want to, maybe we'll do by popular acclaim. Invite some people, and you can, So we're going to do that, and we'll celebrate Hanukkah and bring enlightenment to the world. I think that's really what we need to be doing, is doing Hanukkah. So bring your menorahs, your Hanukkahs, and on Friday night for a Hanukkah celebration and latke. And you don't have to make latkes, by the way. You can just choose to be one of the tasting judges. Because basically, if you're not making, you're tasting. Okay? And we'll judge by acclaim and probably by secret ballots, and another side of trouble. Okay? So that's Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Okay? Latke launch on Sunday at 10 at the park, and
If you haven't got your ticket,
Shh. Yochanan Yosef.
if you haven't got your tickets yet, you still have time.
Yeah, how many of you took advantage of that Giving Tuesday thing? I'm just curious how many, if that worked for many of you. Okay, great. We know, on Tuesday you could buy 10 tickets for $100 instead of 6.
Do we have it like once? Can we do that?
That's a discussion between you and Orlando, I'll stay out.
Maybe we can do it again. Maybe Wednesday we can do it just Wednesday only. If you buy,
We'll figure it out. We may give notice on Wednesday, maybe we'll give notice on Thursday if you buy it.
Yes.
We'll figure it out. So we have Laka launch next Sunday, a week from Sunday, or actually, sorry. We have Monday night class, we have Tuesday Talmud, Teen Talmud, Wednesday night Talmud and tobacco, Friday night Shabbat, menorah lighting, and bring your menorahs, and Laka contest, and Sunday morning at 10, Laka launch, Sunday at 6. This is really important, guys. Please, get as many people as you can to come to Stonehouse. How many of you agree that this is amazing about these guys?
Oh, yes.
It really is, and we need to support them. So those, I think, are our announcements, right, Orlando? Am I right? Benny, Matt, he's sitting, so.
I'm gonna stand up because you can see me. I don't have anything new to share, but I'm gonna reiterate what I mentioned last. Well, actually, yeah, I do have a couple things. Tomorrow night, I'm doing a big holiday event for Price Waterhouse after my boat gig, and
We won everyone with the Oscars?
yeah, and I'm greasing the wheels, and I do a lot of the parties. So anyway, I've been working on this project for these folks that not going to drop any names, but it's like a music family, and they have this outreach that I've mentioned that is a very pro-unity tolerance children educational YouTube channel called Tunes, and they have characters of all different ethnicities, racial backgrounds, all playing together, dancing together. They all have their own song, and they have their own dance that they do. There's different records we're doing for each character, 56 altogether. We have major retail distribution also. So it's been just an incredible uplifting thing for me in my life, because I've been praying profusely to be used in a way where I can do what I do in some way that will help heal so much division and hatred and mistrust that we have, and not just in our country, but in the world, but particularly as an American in our country. And this came up, and it just checked all the boxes. So I'm just really blessed to be able to be doing it. And I'll let you know more later.
Maybe at the Laka launch, we're gonna get a new mic stand. Those who don't make taste, those who don't taste, they taste Jim.
And they get a new mic stand.
So anyway, Benny, nothing to report, but we can figure it out. It's always a tough one, this guy. But yeah, just you can find me online. If you just go to the temple website, meet our clergy, you can find links to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and you can check out what I do as well as with my brother. And
Should I come back on?
I'll be here in a couple weeks. Not for the holidays, just to be here, just to hang out.
Are you gonna go spend any time in New York during December?
I hope not, but I might.
That's so beautiful. All right, I think those are our announcements.
Yeah.
I think we got them all. Well, we got them all. Why do I feel like I'm missing something?
You're not.
I'm not? Okay. I'm told I'm not, then I'm not. I do what I'm told. We'll see. We continue our service as we pray for Mr. Barrow, those who need healing of the body and the spirit. There's someone you wish to pray for the healing. I ask that you please rise. We call out the names.
Jack Jacobson.
Fran Holtzman, Brenda Botzera, and Carol Botzera.
Pray for the healing of all of those sick, all those who got injured, especially injured in defense of this nation or Israel, all those amazing human beings that we have to pray for their healing, their safety, protection, all of those who have no one to pray for them. And we pray special healing for all of the hostages who have been redeemed, that they come through this healed both in their mind and their body and their spirit. All those who have no one to pray for them, we pray for them. Sure.
May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing and let us stay. Amen.
You have to make sure in the future you have the better mic stand. It's good. I can pull the mic out and you're kind of stuck there.
Yes, I don't have any hands. No, this is great for now.
For now, it's fine, but just,
For Elena, I'll smoke it out. I don't need it.
What else type?
I think it's me.
this is how it took us 40 years to wander through the desert. We were arguing about microphone settings. God said, daven for 1 week, that's all you do, but we couldn't get even through one day without. Okay. We rise as we continue with the Elenu. The prayer to take upon ourselves the yoke of the kingdom of heaven, to take upon ourselves the lessons of this restored portion.
Alenu l'shabeach Adon Mako, Latenu l'Avenu Celebrate, Shalom Samanu Yeharakot, Velo Samanu Mishmahol Adama, Shalom Samanu Kanem, Vekor Alenu Keol Nanu Holy. Ishtarati umoti, Bifnei Erev, Malkei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch, Sheru B'nei Shamayim v'Yotzei Haaretz, Moshe B'Gadol B'Shamayim B'Chol, Ushkina Tuzo, B'Koreh Elohim. Eloheinu Echad, Emet Malkeinu Erev Yakatu B'Torato, Keratayo V'Hashemota, Elevad Lecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, B'Shamayim V'Ha'ad, V'Ha'aretz V'Ha'aretz V'Ha'aretz.
Seated. As we turn to page 124, so many people die. Kaddish is a commitment to make their lives, their deaths, their memories be teachings for us. It's a commitment to make the world a better place using what they have taught us with their lives. The memories show us the blessing of their son. You should say Kaddish for us as you rise. So we say Kaddish. We lost, whether you agree with the politics or not, we lost 3 different elders in the political world this week. We lost Mrs. Carter, and we lost Sandra Day O'Connor, and we lost Henry Kissinger. Again, whether you agree with their politics, agree with what they did, agree with their decisions, don't agree with them, they still were people that need to be remembered. They all gave good things, even if you totally disagree with everything they did. Yeah, and everything they did. That's how you feel. You still, they were people who made a difference in the world, and so remember them. And for all people that have known to pray for, we remember them, and especially we remember each and every one of the soldiers of the Erev who died. Each and every one of the victims of October 7th. So that we still remember them. Use your custom to rise as we say Kaddish. I ask that you do so. As we continue on page 124. Yikadash. Yamati Brachir Teviam Lik Malkute, Machachom, Machayed Hol Beit Yisrael, Ba'alav Bisman Karib, Amen. Yehi Shnei Rabban, Barak, Leolam, Leolam, Yibarak Vishkapat, Vipahar, Vipromam, Vipasei, Vidar Vitalei, Vitalal, Shmiri Kedusha, Berechu, Me'ela Mikol Birkata, Shirata, Shvachanta, Menachamanta, Damiron Melma, Me'guru, Ishlam, Arab, Ishmaya, V'chaim, V'negim, Yako Yisrael, Me'guru, Amen. Say Shalom, B'Ramah, V'yahasei Shalom, Amen. Israel, they grew on and ordains peace, the diversity of peace upon their souls, their families, their communities, this community, this nation, peace upon Israel, and please God, peace in all the world. Together we say. Amen. So we have, as we see, we have a couple things that have happened in the last number of weeks. I'm sending out tremendous amounts of emails. And having noticed that the emails that I used to send out, I used to always sign for years, for decades. I've signed my emails Shalom, with peace and peace. Have anyone noticed the last few weeks what the emails say? Azak Baruch, be strong and be blessed. We talked about it last week. That we always say Adon Olam, one version or another. But that as long as the challenges are going on in Israel, we need to remember and celebrate the people of Israel live. Always will live, and God is our partner. Am Yisrael Chai. May Allah do his countenance being kind, gracious, compassionate. May God bless all of us always. Good health, prosperity, peace, safety, protection. Always, always peace. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.